Good morning over here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but good morning, good evening, good night. And welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read a lot of books, mainly library books. And today it's time for me to head to the library again. So I'm going to give you a short, hopefully, review of my two recent reads and yeah, that's kind of what this video is going to be about. Okay, so I have finally read Brigands and Breadknives by Travis Baldree. And I say finally because I have like half watched with videos by other YouTubers with this book in that I have paused when they got to this book so that I wouldn't get any spoilers. This is a book I bought for myself for Christmas and I finally read it. And I'm so glad I took my time with this. It took like a week to slowly read it. And to a Swede, or to this Swede, the language in this is a bit intricate. There was a lot of words I had to look up. I think it's because there's a lot of words that maybe we don't really use in everyday life in, the language of English 2026. So yeah, I had to look some things up and I annotated this. I chose the colors blue and green just because I had a lot of those. So we have blue and green on the cover as well. And this is the second book in Legends and Lattes, and this was not what I expected. So I gave this 4 on like somewhere between 4.5 stars because it wasn't as cozy as I pictured it. So with Legends and Lattes, the first book, we have Viv setting up this coffee shop and they're making cinnamon buns and there's like some action going on at the same time, but the focus is very much on this cozy setting and her, settling down after life as a bounty hunter, if I don't misremember. And with this book, all I knew going into it was that we were gonna see a character again that we met in the prequel that I have also read, and I was looking forward to that character, which is Fern. Can't believe I forgot that. Fern. That in the prequel, Fern has a bookshop. And Viv is injured and comes to this little town to recuperate and ends up visiting this bookshop regularly and actually starts to like reading. So all I knew going into this one was that we were gonna meet that bookshop keeper again, Fern, and I was looking forward to this cozy little setting where maybe she settles down with Viv or Viv comes to her again. I didn't know. And that's not at all what this is about. This is about Fern. I'm gonna try not to spoil this, but this is about Fern realizing that she doesn't know what she wants. So in the beginning of the book, she is going to settle down in a shop next to Viv's coffee shop. That's called Legends and Lattes, and they get it all sorted in like the first few pages, and then Fern kind of gets drunk because she doesn't know what she wants in life and where she's going, and then she's on her way to talk to Viv about this, and then she ends up passing out in a wagon. And this wagon happens to belong to a bounty hunter. And so she is when she wakes up, the wagon is moving. And the book is about her going on this adventure and at the same time trying to figure out what she wants in life. And she's also writing letter after letter to Viv to apologize that she accidentally, slipped away. And it is a good book. I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the characters. There was some parts where I was like, this isn't what I wanted anymore from this book. But, those scenes had a purpose for the book. So I was like, oh, okay. But it still wasn't quite as, true to the series as I wanted it to be, in a way, or it didn't meet my expectations. So it was well written. I enjoyed the characters. I did enjoy the storyline, even though it wasn't what I expected. So what rolls down the ranking of this, or the rating of this, is those scenes where it felt like the book took turns that I wasn't really on board with. So it's a personal preference, nothing else. So yeah, but I am glad I read it. I'm glad I own it, and I own the other 2 books in the series as well, and I will reread them later on, because I think there's depth to them that you don't really see at first glance. So that book is obviously not going back to any library. That's going to my shelf. But this book is going back to the library today. We Used to Live Here by Marus Kliewer. And this was not what I expected either. So I had seen some booktubers talk about this. And what I remember, this is what happens when I put myself on a waiting list for a book. And then it takes a while for me to get it, right? That is that I completely forget the plot. And I have to rely on the synopsis. And for some reason, I think this is categorized at the library here as a mystery. It should be on the horror shelf, because this is a pure horror. So I was expecting this, maybe not on the cozy side, because I knew there was something with the house, there was like a haunted house situation. But maybe when I read the synopsis, I was like, maybe this is a psychological thriller or something like that, because the synopsis basically say that we have this couple, it's Sapphic, by the way, we have this couple that buys a new house, and then when they are moving in, a family comes by and say, hi, we used to live here, we just want to take a look around, is that okay? And for some reason they are invited in, and then they have trouble getting rid of these people, and they just never seem to want to leave. And then the synopsis also says that one in the couple, Charlie or Charlotte, is goes missing. So that's kind of what I knew, and I was like, okay, there's going to be a mystery with this family, and then Charlie goes missing, and poor Eve is going to have to handle this on her own. Okay, got it. What happens to Charlie? That's kind of what I expected. And then when I started to read, I had this in the back of my mind, and and every page I read, I was just like more and more like, what am I reading? What is this? And it just became so psychological, and so like it's really psyching you out, and it turned my mind outside in and upside down. And nothing is what you expect in this book. Nothing. I don't want to spoil anything, but I just want to say that this is pure horror. It plays on like a deep, I think, human fear of being of going crazy and not knowing where you are, when you are, what the F is happening, and yeah, it has it has mental illness, maybe, who knows. Is that the case, or is it a case of parallel worlds? And yeah, it's just so weird and eerie, and I, when I read it, I just crawled back deeper into my couch, and I was like almost like shielding myself from the book as I was reading, and at the same time I brought it close, and I was like, and I think I had that face a lot of the time, like so yeah, I gave this 5 stars because this was so well written and so well done, and not even the ending is what you expect. I swear. And this is supposed to, Netflix has bought the rights, and I googled a little last night, and there's supposed to be, a movie, I think, a Netflix movie in the making with Blake Lively as one of the main characters. So I think if I watch that, I'm gonna watch it with friends, because I'm so happy I didn't get nightmares. And I read everything but the last 50 pages 2 days ago, in one day, and then I wanted to finish it before I went to sleep because I didn't want nightmares, but I was just too tired, so I had to finish the last 50 pages yesterday. And it's like my mind is exhausted just thinking about it, because it truly gripped me, held me tight, and I didn't know if it was ever gonna let me go. It's horrible. It's horrible, but just mwah, in a way. So yeah, that's We Used to Live Here for you. So that's the end of the video. I just wanted to give you a small update, and I will see you, probably my next video will be my next TBR game for April. I'm also planning on like a readathon in April, and making a reading vlog over Easter, because yeah, I have some time for that, so I'm hoping to be able to do that. But the next video will probably be my TBR game for April. So I hope to see you then, and happy reading, everyone. Xingling.